Joining me right now is the member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Georgia Senator David Perdue. Senator, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Maria.
You and a few of your colleagues introduced a resolution yesterday reinforcing the need for greater defense spending in NATO. Obviously, you agree with President Trump's criticism of European allies.
It's a serious issue, Maria. Every president since President Eisenhower has tried to get our NATO allies to pay their fair share for their own national defense. It's a huge gap between what they have been paying, about 1% of GDP, and what we've been paying, about 3% of our GDP, which collectively is about the same as all the European nations. Maria, collectively, that's about $400 billion a year we've been subsidizing the national defense of our NATO allies.
That's really incredible that now we're talking about it, and this has been the case for so many years. Trade also sort of dovetails into this because the president earlier in the breakfast basically called out Germany for wanting the U.S. to keep helping them in terms of defense, and yet they're giving all this money to Russia for their gas.
The president's absolutely correct. I mean, if we are going to continue to subsidize the national defense of our European NATO allies, I mean, he has every right to question that kind of deal. Look, energy is a big issue with Putin and Russia, and we know that Europe is overly dependent on energy from Russia. We can subsidize that and take care of that if we would just get after that. I would also say that the trade conversation, Maria, is absolutely appropriate. This president is trying to create a more level playing field after 70 years of an unlevel playing field in our trade environment.
Yeah, but let's talk about trade first off with China, because the Trump administration is now confirming that they are looking at assessing a 10% tariff on an additional $200 billion in Chinese goods. We have experience here, you do, as a Fortune 500 CEO. I mean, what's your take on this?
Well, I generally don't like tariffs, but I'll tell you what I do like. I like this president fighting for American workers and American companies to gain a level playing field. You know, I was just in China, met with the Politburo heads, spent a day with Jack Ma at Alibaba. It's just not right that Alibaba can do cloud computing in the U.S. and we cannot do cloud computing there. So the tariffs are one way to open a dialogue to recreate a level playing field with our allies around the world, and especially China.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I also see that it's just an unfair situation, whereas China doesn't open up its markets to American companies, right, and they continue to force the transfer of technology, and they continue stealing our intellectual property. But, Senator, they're not even admitting this. So how do you deal with a country that won't even admit what they're doing?
Well, I used to live over there, and the Chinese culture is a 5,000-year-old culture. President Trump has done what he had to do to start with to get their attention. We now have the attention. They've entered into a dialogue right now. They know we have an unlevel playing field. They characterize themselves as the world's largest developing country economy, and they call us the largest developed economy. Implied in that comment is the fact that we still need to have an unlevel playing field in terms of trade practices, and President Trump does not subscribe to that. Neither do I.
Let me ask you about the retaliation. I mean, when we see retaliation from China, isn't that going to make so many products much more expensive? So while this president has done so well in terms of economic policy with the tax cuts and with the rollback in regulation, do you take that back? Do you X all of that out because China's about to retaliate with tariffs, making our products more expensive, cutting into people's pocketbooks?
Well, the unfortunate thing about tariffs is it inadvertently picks winners and losers. And so as long as you're trying to get a level playing field, you have the risk of everything you just mentioned. But again, I think what we have here is 70 years of an imbalance with our Asia partners, and this president's trying to correct that. I believe that what the end game here is not to increase tariffs per pursue back and forth. I think it's to get into a reciprocity conversation,
right,
and get at it specifically industry by industry and product by product, and not this industry-wide blunt instrument approach that we see taken now.
Well, we'll see how that develops then. Let me ask you about Pfizer. We heard from Pfizer it will, in fact, postpone the recent drug price increases after criticism from President Trump. The president tweeted this yesterday, just talked with Pfizer CEO and Secretary Azar on our drug pricing blueprint. Pfizer is rolling back price hikes so American patients don't pay more. We applaud Pfizer for this decision. Hope other companies do the same. Great news for the American people. Your thoughts, Senator, because I know that in this situation, the president had a really good outcome. But should the president of the United States be calling out specific companies?
Well, I do worry about that. I remember the price environment in the 1970s. I hope we don't go back to that. But I will say this. Our health care delivery system is out of control. It's gotten outrageously expensive. Obamacare, we know, was a total bust. We have not been able to put together a bipartisan bill yet to correct most of that, and the fixes are really there to be had. I do applaud the president for calling out the increases and asking industry to reflect upon that until he gets his program put together later this year. This is a problem that's not going to go away, Maria. It is devastating to millions of people out there, and this should be our primary focus to balance the year after we get the government funded in September.
Senator, give me a realistic look in terms of the Senate when it comes to Judge Kavanaugh. What are you expecting in terms of confirmation?
Well, you know, Judge Gorsuch went through with a large debate. There was an outcry on the left that he was an unreasonable nominee. We see his rulings just since he's been in the Supreme Court. I think we've got another candidate or nominee in Kavanaugh that is very much like Neil Gorsuch. He will get broad support, we hope, from Democrats as well as Republicans. If you look at his record, it absolutely bears that out, and I hope we'll get to it in a timely manner. You know, the last two nominees got through in 66 days, so I hope we can move expeditiously on Judge George Kavanaugh.
Are you expecting that you'll need Democratic support?
Well, we don't want to take anything for granted. I don't know why we wouldn't get Democratic support for a candidate or nominee like this. This is a great nominee,
right.
A fantastic legacy of rulings that both sides can look at. And look, this is not picking somebody from outside the judiciary that we don't know how they're going to react once they get on the bench. This is somebody who's got a long track record.
Right. And I mean, we heard a positive comment from Susan Collins. Your thoughts on Rand Paul? He sort of made a neutral comment.
Well, at the end of the day, we've got to get 51 votes, and that's what we're working to do now, wherever they come from. I really suspect that we'll get Democratic support on here. This is a nominee that should get broad support.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave it there. Senator, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Maria.
Senator David Perdue joining us there.